Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go through how to get into headstand. So headstand is typically seen as one of the first inversions that you might work towards, and so I'm going to give you some tips and tricks in terms of drills and how I learned it, and also just go through the different kinds of headstands that you can do and how you can start having fun with it. So this video was inspired from our fellow YouTuber, the Tattooed Ronin. So Fu is amazing. He comes up with the craziest ideas of how you can create your own sort of do-it-yourself workout equipment at home. He is so inspiring, and Fu, I also wanted to say thank you so much for that amazing shout out that you did last week for me. I was almost in tears. I thought it was so kind, and so thanks so much for all of your support and everything you do. It really does mean a lot to me. So if you're struggling with headstand and trying to figure out how to get into it, you are not alone. This is something that many people struggle with. So I hope that you find this video useful. If you don't find it useful because just something's not working, please let me know, because I will do a follow-up on this one as well. But I do hope that it is valuable, and so let's have some fun and let's get started. All right, so before we get into the fun and we go into some drills, I did want to just walk through a few things. So when you're thinking about headstand, there's typically two different types of headstands that we do. There's actually a lot more advanced ones, but I'm not going to show them in this video, and actually I don't know how to do them, so I can't show them anyways. But the two that we're going to talk about are supported headstand and tripod headstand. So supported headstand looks something like this. So you've got your hands. I will do this in more detail, but just showing this to just kind of see, so you guys get a frame of what we're going to do today. So head comes down, you're supported, and then you come up. So that is supported headstand. Supported headstand is typically used at the end of a yoga session. It can be a very meditative sort of way to finish your practice. It's also really fun, so I personally love that headstand. You can do a lot of variations with them, which I'll show a little bit later on. And then the second type of headstand is a tripod. So tripod has, me and tripod are kind of friends. I've just sort of started learning this one over the last maybe 12 months or so. So actually, let me go back for one sec. So supported headstand took me 5 years to master. One of the reasons why that took me so long is because there is this mind-body connection that really needs to happen. Going upside down can be very, very scary. And so, if you're feeling that and upside down kind of terrifies you a little bit, don't worry, I was there too. But it's something that you just have to keep practicing, and you slowly build those connectors in your brain, and so it's not as scary anymore. And so tripod. So tripod is not supported. This is one reason why this kind of scares me a little bit, but it is really cool because tripod is actually one that you can turn into a lot of cool transitions, and so it can be a lot of fun because it's just fun transitioning and trying to figure out how to balance, make your body move in certain ways, and have that control. So with tripod, what that is basically you've got your hands here and then your head comes up. So your head's almost in a tripod, it's in a triangle. So from here, what you do is, again, I'm gonna go into this in a lot more detail, but just wanna show you what it is we're gonna bring the elbows in. And so coming into tripod, is like this. I'm not gonna go all the way up. Like I said, this is still one I'm kind of working with, so if I look a lot more comfortable in supported and less comfortable in tripod, you know why. All right. So the last thing that I want to some of the last things that I want to do before we get right into it is, so headstand amongst with all inversions, to me, require three things. So one is your core. So core is critical for getting upside down because you are balancing in a way that your body's just not quite used to. And so you really need to fire up that core, and you really need to think about sort of that tucking of the tailbone. That's just going to protect your lower back, and make sure you're not banana backing. So when I started learning headstands, and even while now I'm learning some of the more advanced ones, I find that it's really easy to banana back. So just really think about tucking that core in. It'll really help you with your stability. The second thing is shoulder strength. So getting upside down, a lot of weight is starting to go on your shoulders, and so your shoulders and your arms need to be able to carry it. And so we're going to do one drill mainly to kind of work on your shoulders. So that is really important. And then the last part is, I touched on this earlier, is that mind-body sort of connection. So your mind needs to make those connectors to be able to get you upside down comfortably. So slowly, it's something that your brain will learn, but it takes a lot of consistency. So if you are interested, much like I mentioned in the splits video, if you want to get your inversions, you have to be practicing it a lot. So that means either every day or at least more days than you're not in a week. So practice makes perfect. So whether you're adding some of these drills in or just practicing getting upside down, all of those things are really important because, the more you do things, the more comfortable you get. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to mention is how you can sort of get into the free hold. So how do you kind of learn to do it so that you're not scared of falling? And so two things. So one, I would use a wall. So when you're starting, definitely use a wall. This one's a little controversial. A lot of teachers will tell you, no, don't use the wall because you'll never get off the wall. But I don't believe that. I think that the wall is a really great option just to help you sort of feel safe. And once you're, feeling really comfortable that you're not touching the wall while you're getting upside down, then you just slowly move away. And so I've got a window, so I might demonstrate a few things sort of off of the window. So if you've got a window, you can definitely use it, but it's maybe not the safest option. I would definitely highly recommend a wall over a window, but sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. And unfortunately, that's what I got. And the other thing is so I'm going to drag Dave out here. I'm going to walk through having a spotter. Having a spotter is also a great way. So, all right, Dave, can you come here? So I've got my partner here. So I drag Dave.
I don't know how she pulled this off.
It was at the last second, so he's a little stressed, but he's doing great.
Yeah.
So for me, when I needed to get off the wall, one of the ways that I was able to get off the wall a little bit faster was by actually having someone spot me. So I'm just going to demonstrate what that's like. So if you've got someone at home, whether it's a parent, a partner, a friend, anyone that can kind of help, just to help you so you can go freestand, it helps so much just knowing that someone's there and they're going to be there to help you. Now, I've been practicing headstand for a while, so I don't really need a spotter, but I'm going to show you what, and he's going to demonstrate what he does to help make sure that as I'm practicing, to make sure that I feel safe so that I can practice free form. So right now we're actually doing this with my handstands and my forearm stands because I am not comfortable with those at all, but we'll demonstrate it with headstand. So I'm going to practice with a supported headstand because this is the one that I'm the most comfortable with. So I'm going to get myself ready and set up. And then from here, slowly start coming into position. And so Dave now is going to stand here and just make sure that I feel super comfortable as I'm up. And you can see if I start falling backwards, he's here. And if I start falling forwards, he's also here. So from here, I can kind of bounce back and forth while I try and find my balance. And then when I'm ready, I'll just say, okay, Dave, I'm ready to come down. And he'll move his hands. And then I'll come down. So I'm going to come down gracefully, but maybe yours is going to fall. So when I'm practicing my handstands as an example, it does not look like that. All right. Thanks, Dave.
Good job.
All right. Now that I bugged Dave and I showed you what a spotter can do, let's get into the drills because I know that's really what you're waiting for. All right. So the first drill we're going to do is we're going to work on the core. So again, we want to get that core nicely fired up because you need core, one, to feel stable, and then two, as you progress in your inversions, and maybe you want to do straight leg raises or you want to get into some of the other stuff, you definitely need to have a strong, stable core. So the first thing that we're gonna do is boat pose. So I know that's one of your favorites, so we're gonna do that one. All right, so what we're gonna do is boat pose. Depending on where you're at with your boat, either your toes are gonna be on the ground, you're going to lift your legs and keep your legs bent, or you're gonna come into straight legs. And so we're gonna hold this for 5. And so I'm gonna bring my arms out and hold it here, whoop, for 5. So again, tight core, we're gonna hold it here, tucking that tailbone. We're gonna inhale and exhale, that's 1. Inhale and exhale, that's 2. Inhale and exhale, that's 3. Inhale and exhale, that's 4. Inhale and exhale, that's 5. All right, we're gonna cross our legs and just try and pick the butt up and bring it down. All right, so from here, we're just gonna do low boat to high boat. So what we're gonna do is coming into straight legs, bring the arms out, and then bringing the legs down. Bring them back up, that's 1, down, and up, that's 2, up, that's 3, up, that's 4, and that's 5. All right, the last one that I want to do is bring the hands behind you, and we're just going to do leg raises. The reason why we're going to do this is because this is going to start creating some muscle memory, so that if you want to start, inverting with raising your legs, your body and your mind are already going to kind of know that motion. So what we're going to do is, using the hands behind us, bring the back a little bit, tucking in that core, tucking that tailbone, and lifting the legs and bringing them down. Up and down. So we're going to do that 5 times together. So when you're ready, up, down, that's 1, up and down, that's 2. Point your toes and try and keep the legs as straight as you can. Up and down, that's 3. Up and down, that's 4. Up and down, that's 5. All right, so hopefully you're starting to feel that in your core. So the next thing we're gonna work on is dolphin. So some people love dolphin, some people hate it. The stronger you get in the shoulders, the less bad it is. So what we're gonna do is, much like we would hold sort of the supported headstand position, we're gonna hold our hands together, elbows, so just watch. So just bringing the hands together like this, touching the elbows, and then clasping the hands. All right, from here, what we're gonna do is come into almost like a downward dog, so hips are high. And from here, we're gonna hold this first for 5. So inhale and exhale, that's 1. Inhale and exhale, that's 2. Inhale and exhale, that's 3. Maybe even walking them in just a little bit more. Inhale and exhale, that's 4. Inhale and exhale, that's 5. All right, for the next 5, we're gonna do dolphins. So this is almost like a plank saw, but not quite, because the hips are so high. So from here, hips are high, and we're gonna bring our chin over the hands and back. So together, let's do this 5 times. So over, inhale, exhale, back. Over, exhale, back, that's 2. Over, exhale, back, that's 3. Over, exhale, back, that's 4. Over, exhale, back, that's 5. Coming down onto the knees and just shaking it out. All right, starting to bring some heat into the body, so we're almost ready to start getting upside down. So before we start sort of playing with these different variations, what we're gonna do is play with doing some leg raises. So we're gonna start getting our head on the mat, just to start feeling that connection. And this is one of the drills that I really recommend, especially if you're starting to get comfortable with being upside down. So we're gonna start this first with supported, and then we'll do another round in tripod. So we're gonna do 5 and 5. So again, what we're gonna do is watching our form here. So elbows in, grabbing them with our hands. And then from here, coming here, holding our hands together. So what you want to do here is, again, nice open through the chest. Bring those shoulders down. Nice and strong foundation. From here, what we're going to do is place our head. So the thing with headstands is you shouldn't actually feel a lot of weight in your head. So you should be balanced in a lot of different areas. So if you're feeling like a lot of the weight is in your head, then it probably means that you're not doing it properly. And part of this is just playing with it. So you just have to get comfortable with playing. And so actually, this brings up a really good point, is let's just have fun, right? So don't put too much pressure on yourself. We're just having fun. We're gonna play with getting upside down. This might go awesome, or it may be a little bit frustrating, but just try and let it go, and let's just try something new. So again, so hands are together. We're gonna bring that head right we wanna be able to basically touch the head with the thumbs. And then from here, bring the elbows in a little bit to really just kind of set that foundation. You should feel nice and solid and supported here. From here, what we're gonna do is just lift up the legs. So this might already feel like a lot. So one of the things when you're inverting is it's really important to get the hips in line with the head. So the first few times you get upside down, this is gonna just feel really weird because it's really hard to gauge what you feel like upside down because you're just not used to it. So if you're not coming into it as easy as I am, that's just because I practice this, I don't know, probably every day. So from here, what I want you to do is, again, supported hands, heads coming down, and maybe this is actually gonna be where you stay because this already feels like enough work. And so if it is, then I want you to just stay here for 5 while we do the leg lift. Now, if you feel like you've got a little bit more in you, again, your core is tight, what we're gonna do is just slowly lift one leg and then bring it down. Other leg, and bring it down. So let's do that a few more times on each side. So bring it up and down. Maybe even trying to come onto the tippy toes here. And down. We'll do 2 more each side. And down. And down. And down. And down. All right, slowly coming back onto your knees. Sometimes I find the drills are actually harder than inverting. But part of this process is just building that muscle memory, building those connections, and slowly getting more comfortable with being upside down. All right. Tripod headstand. So me and tripod headstand, we have a love-hate relationship. And so I'm going to show you a few tricks that I use to help me. So you can use a strap. You can even use one of these sort of like circular resistance bands. And what you would do with the resistance band is just bring it here, oops, just wrap it around up above your elbows so that this will kind of help bring your your arms together. So the way I like to think about this is, you know how sometimes you'll put the resistance band above the knees? Well, what this does is this also helps with that muscle memory, so you make sure that you're activating all the muscles in your arms. So I find this really helpful. I find it sets a really nice foundation, especially when you're learning. And so this can be an option. So I'll do this exercise with it on, but by no means do you need to use this. This is just another option. All right, from here, hands are coming down, and then from here, head's coming down. So again, this is an unsupported headstand, so you're gonna feel less supported. And so here, really important to widen your hands here. You wanna feel some, you wanna be able to feel some weight sort of in the heel and then also in each of these fingers. So watch that. So from here, coming up, and we're gonna do the same thing with the leg raises. So coming up, watching that your elbows, so again, when you're coming down, you want it to be sort of nice and stable. If you weren't gonna use this, what we're gonna do is same thing, just I really want you to focus on stabilizing your elbows. So it's really easy when you're doing tripod that you'll start bringing the elbows out, and that's not good because you are not supported. So what you want to do is really sort of open up here through the chest, bringing those elbows in, heads coming down, and then as you're putting more weight, you're continually sort of trying to hug those elbows in. So this is again why this can be really effective and really helpful. You can even use a strap. You just have to sort of tie it around. If that's something that's interesting for you to learn how to do that, please let me know in the comments. I'm not going to show it in this video. Okay, so, oops, okay. So coming here, okay, so we've got our band around. So this is again just going to help us remember to activate. So here we're learning the foundation, fingers are spread, and then coming up. So from here, elbows are hugging in, and then lifting one leg, and then lifting the other. Again, maybe coming onto tippy toes. And again. And we're gonna do 2 more on each side. Again, just starting to get comfortable with this. 1 more each side. All right, and then bringing the knees down. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Okay, so we've done our drills, so it's time to actually start playing in our headstand. So we're gonna start first with supported, just because I think this is the safest one to get into, and then I'll go through some tripod ones afterwards. So supported. So we kind of walked through the hands already. The other thing to note is falling. So a lot of people recommend trying to learn to fall. I think it's a really great idea. Also, falling in headstand definitely doesn't hurt as much as you think. So you may just want to practice falling, which will just have you roll into a bit of a somersault. If you guys would like a video on falling, let me know, but I'm not going to go through it in this one just for time's sake. All right, so first. So to me, there's a bunch of different progressions that you can make in your headstand. So the first one, especially when you're dealing with supported, is coming into an egg position. So I'm going to show what that looks like. So from here, again, we're going to clasp our hands. So hands are clasped. We're going to watch here that our elbows aren't out too far. And then we're going to nice and lightly place our head. So from here, when you're learning, what we're going to do is try to step in as much as possible to get those hips right over the head. From there, you might start playing with lifting this leg up and then maybe lifting the other one up. So you can see when I go, you'll see that transition between my sort of lower back, my pelvic area, and how that all comes. So from here, this is definitely a much more stable position. So coming down, if we were going to try and do that on the wall, this can be a really fun one to play with, because from here, bringing that head back down, coming up, you can kind of use the feet against the wall to just help you balance. And because everything is so much more compact, you're going to feel a lot more stable. From here, you can even start trying to lift your legs. And then again, the wall's here just to offer you that extra stability so you can keep, balancing and then eventually coming down. So that's how you can use the wall. I'm going to do the rest of this class, or at least the supported piece. I might go back to the wall for tripod, but I'm going to do it freeform just so it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, so start with your egg pose. Again, once you feel really comfortable with egg, then you can kind of go into some other stuff. So I'm going to show you a couple other options. So from here, coming down. So again, you want to walk those legs in. So walking these legs in, and then getting those hips high. So you can see as you start getting the hips high, my feet start lifting off of the ground. So again, if I'm coming into egg, you can see here, this feels a lot more stable. And then slowly, as you get comfortable, you can start lifting your legs. The other thing to note is people think that as you invert, you're not moving. But probably what you can see is that I'm constantly balancing on my hands and moving things around, like my elbows, my forearms, my hands, to basically keep myself stable. So part of that mind connection is just trying to get comfortable with the fact that you are moving and you're not going to just be totally still. All right, so once you get more comfortable with egg and you're able to come up, then the next variation is going to be just lifting one leg at a time. So how we do that is, again, coming here, clasping those hands together, bringing that head down, bringing that butt up, hips are high, walking the feet in, and then just lifting one leg and trying to find your stability. And then slowly bring that other leg to meet, tucking that core in, trying to make sure you're not banana backing, and just holding here. So you want to just try and hold as much as you can, especially as you're learning. You're probably going to fall out of it a few times. The most important thing though is don't just try to kick yourself up. This is a sure way to really kind of hurt yourself. And so in some of the other inversions, as you're practicing, you might be kicking up, but especially with headstand, because your head's on the ground, you don't want to be like flailing, and you really want to focus on that core engagement. And so a big part of it is learning how to stack your hips on top of your, on top and in line with your body. And then the other part is activating the core. So if you focus on that egg position, that'll really start building the core stability that you need to be able to hold those positions. So even though it might take a little bit longer or it feels like you're not making progress, really try with the egg position. Okay, I think I've drilled in enough about egg. So now I'm going to show you what happens is once you sort of started building up to it, the next thing that you want to do is two things. Is you want to work up to straight legs. So that is the ultimate core. And then you want to come out of the pose gracefully as well, because you don't want to just be falling out of the pose. And so this is sort of what you need to work towards. So bring the hands here, head's coming down. And then from here, hips are coming high again and walking it in. Again, you really want to get those hips stacked. And then from here, legs are coming together, using that core to slowly bring the legs up. And then from here, so if you're using this at the end of your yoga session, then, well, you're gonna hang out here as long as you can, maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or just hanging out, you know, as much as you like. From here, to try and get out gracefully, this is another transition that you'll need to kind of work on. So from here, slowly keeping those legs straight, pointing the toes, and then transitioning that weight. So the hips are coming back, the legs are coming forward, and holding here in pike. So this should be in a 90 degree, hopefully, and slowly bringing those legs down. So again, a lot of this is in the core. So I can't stress core enough. Okay, so hopefully you've been practicing with me and kind of getting in. So what we'll do is I might just give you maybe 5, maybe 10 breaths to just start playing around with it. Really this video is going to be more just giving you tips and tricks to kind of get into it. But hopefully you've been kind of playing around with me. So if you are, we'll give you 10 breaths. And as you guys do the 10 breaths, I'm going to go into headstand and I'll just show you some of the fun variations that you can kind of work up towards that will just help you sort of play with some of those balance and transitions, which are super fun. So take your time now and get into it, and I'll just play here on my own. I will talk a little bit just so you can kind of see what the different options are. And then from there, I'm going to go into tripod. Okay, so from here again, foundation is everything, core is everything. So from here, I'm bringing my head down. So walking those legs in and coming up, nice and strong, straight legs. Takes a long time to practice. Hopefully you get it faster than I did. And then from here, some of the fun things you can play with is bringing the legs wide. You can bring them back together. You can twist. You can also come into sort of one leg forward, one leg back. And that one you can twist. And then bring the legs together. Other side. Twist. Lots of twists. Coming back. You can do a firebolt, so bringing one knee forward, one leg back. And then transition to the other side. And then the last transition I'm going to show you is coming into scorpion. So this is a bit of a back bend. So bringing the legs back, starting to bend the back. And balancing the weight here. And then coming back up. And coming down. All right, I wish I was able to hold it and pike down, but well, that's how these go sometimes. Okay, so hopefully that gave you some things to play with. If you guys have any more questions on supported headstand, then please let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to do a video where we spend more time and I give you more time to practice. And so now we're going to go into tripod. So once you've kind of mastered supported, that's where I'd recommend going into tripod. However, some people just like doing tripod first because there's more variations with it. And I find in classes, a lot of the times they'll teach tripod before they teach supported. Okay, so tripod. So tripod, the reason why tripod is fun is because in a few videos ago, we talked about doing crow. And so from crow pose, you can come right away into your headstand. Whoop. Playing here with the balance, watching those arms, coming up. You can then come back into crow, and then you could, oops, well, I was gonna try and do another transition, but I fell out. But what you can do is, anyway, there's just so many different options because you can go into side crows, you can go into flying crow, and a lot of cool arm variations and things like that. The other thing in tripod is a lot of people like to go from tripod from a wide leg. And so what that's going to be is, well, you have your legs nice and wide, you set up your foundation here, you bring that head onto the ground, and then when you feel stable, you're going to slowly, let's see if I can do this, come up into your tripod with wide legs. Holding that, and then coming down. All right, so tripod, I like supported a little bit better because supported, you can hold that for as many sort of seconds as you want to. Tripod, however, they say you shouldn't hold it for more than 5. And I would tend to agree because you really don't want to put that kind of pressure behind your neck. And again, you kind of, tripod is more of like, again, if you're trying to use it for transitions and sort of fun play, that's where tripod's awesome. If you're trying to hold it for long periods of time, definitely just do supported. It's so much better on your neck. Okay, so tripod. So let's figure out how do we sort of work in tripod to kind of, get higher or to get, build up those progressions. So again, all of those drills that we did before are going to be very important for tripod as well. The most important thing with tripod is you really need to work on kind of getting those elbows in tight because you want to feel, even though it's not as supported with the hands, you want to really sort of feel that connection with the elbows coming in. Okay, so a couple of videos, maybe a month or so ago, We posted one on crow and teddy bear headstand, so I definitely think teddy bear headstand is a excellent variation when you're starting out. So it's almost one thing lower than your egg pose. And so what we're going to do here is bring the hands here, head down, elbows in, and then bringing those hips up, walking forward. So from here, getting into teddy bear, you can start with just putting one sort of shin on the elbow, and then if that's feeling okay, maybe bringing the other one and holding here. Now, if that's going pretty good, then you're going to lift those knees up off into egg, holding here, and then if that's okay, then you can lift up your legs and raise them. So breathing here, holding here, and then coming down when you're ready. So practice that, see what that feels like. And then from here, what we can do is the same sort of transitions as we did with supported. So that's going to be things like, we showed the wide legs, so you can do the wide legs. We can do one leg up. We can do both legs up. So both legs up is always going to be the hardest. It's really hard to sort of balance the core here. So yeah, so it's just something you'll just have to keep progressing and working on. Okay, so let's practice some of those. So hands down, heads down. So if you've mastered egg and you want to take the next one, then lifting one leg and then slowly lifting the other leg, coming into your tripod. And then if possible, trying to pike your legs down. The slower you go, the harder it is. So really try to focus, really try to go as slow as you can in these movements. Again, it'll just help build all of those muscle memories and your core and all of that. So yeah, so I don't know, I think that might be it for this video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to cover. I can show you legs raised with the tripod, and then that's probably it. Let's see how I do. I don't really practice this one too often, so we'll just see how we go. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll show it with this. So this is where this kind of stuff becomes really helpful, because again, it just activates all of those arm muscles so that you can, well, this isn't working. This is, oops, my bad. So this is just going to help activate all these muscles. So hands come down, head comes down, elbows are in, and slowly walking up, and then legs raised, coming up, and then trying to go as straight as you can, and then coming down. All right, that actually wasn't so bad. Okay, so I hope I gave you a bunch of stuff that you can now play with. I hope that some of these tips are going to help you. If you feel like maybe I didn't cover something in enough detail, please let me know. If you want me to build more flows with this kind of stuff in, please let me know, and I will definitely add that in future videos. So I'm going to end it here, but thank you so much for sticking around with me. Again, I really hope that that was helpful. The biggest thing, again, that I can mention when it comes to inversions is just practice. So it all comes down to consistency and just trying it again and again and again, and have fun. So just have fun trying something new. Enjoy the journey, and I have no doubt that you will get there very soon. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Please let me know down in the comments what you think. Make sure you check out the Tattooed Ronin. Check out his channel, he's amazing. And you can also find us on Instagram and on our website. Both are movewithjen.ca. We're actually also on Facebook too, so you can find our page. And I think that's it. So let me know if you've got any other suggestions of any sort of movements or things that you like covered. Again, any other questions, let me know. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.